I thought you said you killed him.
It was a very brief reprieve. We raided the agency a few days ago.
You got him at his office?
No. But the office has been closed and will not open again.
You got the Ortmeyer files.
They're still in circulation. But we learned that the files are almost entirely useless without a fresh bone marrow sample from 47.
So even dead, he's a threat.
Only until he's cremated. About 20 minutes from now.
How'd you finally get him?
He got overconfident and greedy. He took on the most difficult, most highly paid assassination attempt in history.
The presidential attack?
The very one you asked about at the start of our conversation. Ready to hear how it really went down?
We're all quite pleased to have you on this assignment, Mr. 47. The nation's gratitude...
Skip the patriotism, Smith.
Of course. Have you read the briefing?
Not yet. Give me the big picture.
The Vice President of the United States is plotting with Mark Parchesi. I assume you're familiar with him?
I know his work.
Good. They're planning to assassinate the President as soon as he gets back from Los Angeles.
Another drink, sir?
Please.
There's more detailed info on both men in the briefing. Can I do anything else for you? I'm looking forward to finally working with you.
I'll contact you if I need more information. Beyond that, never contact me in person again.
Sorry, gentlemen. My niece's birthday. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Did you get your present?
It's everything I've ever wished for. My own access card to the White House. Is the roof alarm taken care of?
Yes, Pumpkin. Everything is just fine.
I'm afraid Uncle has to go now. I'll call you back later and we can talk all about your party.
You know how little girls are.
Welcome back to the finale of Hitman Blood Money, where today we got to stop a political assassination by performing a political assassination. We've got Mark Parchesi III, the leader of this organisation called the Franchise, that are the ones that have been hunting us down since the start of the game, and we also have the Vice President who has to die. The Vice President will be going for first because Mark Parchesi III is essentially the final boss of the game. But I'm going to show you some pretty fun ways of dealing with him. But first things first, when you enter through the front door, immediately go into the bathroom, throw anything that's going to catch the guard's attention in a corner. I decided my pistol, and open the door to lure the guard in. Sedate him, take back your pistol, and take the suit. Because this disguise is going to pull us through the first half of this mission. And because we're in this disguise, no one will mind that the thing will beep on our gun going through. So take the main building keycard, and while you're here, take the videotape, so then no camera will record our presence here. Keep in mind we did that first, just for a cutscene later on. But once you've done that, proceed onward through here as you explore the White House, using your keycard on this door here. If you're going to decide what weapon you want out, don't do it until you've gone round this corner, just in case you get spotted. The fibre wire can't be seen anyway, so you should be fine. But then pop through this little door and these big doors right next to it. And those doors in the corner, head towards them. Keep in mind, however, you have to pick the lock. So if you see anyone sees you do it, it will blow your cover. So wait until that guy turns around and then run in. Behind this door is that Vice President. So we're immediately going to book and make a beeline straight for him and strangle him as soon as we can. Now, if you've played this mission before, you'll probably be thinking, whoa, that's a terrible decision to make because his wife walked straight in and will find the body before you get a chance to hide it. But there's a reason why we used the fibre wire and didn't shoot him. If you put his body behind the chair, she will never spot his body. She will never go far enough to spot the body. If you shoot him, she'll spot the blood, walk forward enough, and then spot the body. So that's actually fine. The body will never be found because I put it behind the chair. It's a really cheeky but fun way of dealing with that first target, because usually you have to wait for him to enter the other room and then strangle him and immediately dump his body in a box, just because otherwise you don't have enough time to squeeze through. But once you've done that, heading upstairs and going through this window in particular over here and down the ladder will allow us to get access to the other side of this building. However, this disguise will not work on that side of the building. This rooftop is the last time it will work. So we need to find a new disguise, preferably before we even enter that, which we can actually do. I get my other sedative out because you should have only used one at this point anyway. When you head towards this building, you see that door over there. The moment we enter through there, this disguise will be trespassing. So we're just going to sit and wait right here for someone to come out to do our work. We could take him, but I'm going to discourage it because by the time you take him and then take his disguise, someone else would have walked out and seen what you're doing, and you won't have enough time to hide the body. However, if you wait for the second person to come out, which happens a little later on, although someone will eventually come out and discover the body, you can completely interrupt that by moving to the second objective in a way that will enlighten itself very shortly. But when you go to take Mark Pachesi III, it changes the pattern of every guard here. So although this second person, the cleaner who's just come out, his body's going to be left in the open, we would have encountered Mark Pachesi III and so caused the pattern of all the AI to change before someone goes back outside to find the body. If you want to take it slow and explore the whole second side, just hide him on the other side of this domey bit. Also, you're going to see me sneak on him, but since this isn't trespassing, he won't hear you. So you can sprint straight up to him and jab him in the neck with it. Because it only becomes trespassing when we enter, but we're going to be entering in this janitor getup, so it now we won't be trespassing at all. But however, this janitor getup, as far as I'm aware, will be trespassing back in that first area, so you'll have to swap back as you go to leave. And now we have to go through this rather obnoxious office block here that's just filled to the brim with constant rearranging of your of your positioning to get through. And you go downstairs just to get the luxury of doing it again if you turn right. Don't turn right, turn left and go around the whole thing. If you turn right and have to go through all that office block, it's frustrating. And when you come to this door, fun little trick, get your gun out, go in the first person, then open the door. This is the head of the franchise, the person who's been actively trying to kill us for the entire adventure and has killed every other agent that the agency has as of right now, with the exception of Agent Smith, who we ditched on the side of the road at the end of the last mission. But if you are in first person, you can shoot him the moment the cutscene finishes. But that kind of ruins the whole point of the final boss. So instead, back outside before you got your disguise, just as you came down the ladder, there's this over here. Placing a mine on it, and then using it after Mark Pachesi's blown the door behind you off, chasing him all the way back upstairs like you normally would, through all the office blocks, past everything, all the way back upstairs, through here, nice music plays. When you eventually get back outside into the open and he's still running to his sniping spot, you can just crouch here, and as he gets around, push the detonator, and that will still be Silent Assassin because no one will come out to find the body. Alternatively, if you're feeling a bit more adventurous at the start of the mission, take your trusty sniper rifle, make sure you've got the foil padded case so it doesn't get detected on the thing, get your disguise as normal, go through, pick it up on the other side, and take it all the way with you till the end. Putting it down way over here on this back wall allows you to slip through without raising suspicion when you're in the main area, because they will raise suspicion towards a janitor holding a giant briefcase. So then, equipping your sniper, you're in the perfect position to just shoot Mark Pachesi III from here. And you're so far away, the chance of him actually getting a shot on you is next to impossible. And there he goes. But however way you decide to deal with him, leave your way as you was going to, take your disguise again, and start heading back towards the way you came. We are backtracking the whole of this level since the only exit is our entrance. So back through this window, through these double doors, through those doors, through these doors, down the stairs as you were, through the tiny door, down to the main opening space we were in, straight ahead in front of us, back past the belt and the scanner. You can use this side door since it's quicker and it's easier. Open the door, close it behind you, take your suit back, and leave, because you've just finished the game, technically. And just like that, Silent Assassin. And there you go. And just like that, you beat the main final mission of the game. Now we have one cutscene and then a credit mission that's a bit different, but for set intents and purposes, you have finished the game now.
It's me, 47, Diana.
What are you doing here?
Easy. I had to sneak in. The place is surrounded by hundreds of SWAT members right now. They're getting ready to move in. I had to warn you, there's still time for you to escape. I've got a plan.
I don't buy it. You've got nothing to gain here. The smart play would have been getting out of the country.
Out of the country? We're dealing with a franchise here, 47. Borders don't stop them. You're my last chance.
You know my terms. Cash on the nail.
Don't you get it? You have to fight them. But if you try to do it alone, you're a dead man.
Death is always a risk.
Read carefully, 47. It's a bold plan.
Where is this wheelchair guy right now? Bitch!
Sorry, but this was the only way. You would have fought them whatever I said, and you would have lost. You're buying me one more night.
We've got 4 minutes before he's cold, people. Let's move.
I've never actually killed a man before. It was surprisingly pleasant.
Very nicely done, Diana. You've earned my trust. Welcome to the franchise. I'm sure we'll find an appropriate role for you in the organization. A woman like yourself is entitled to a very special role indeed.
That assassination attempt was the most reported story since 9/11. How can you expect me to believe
I
that?
don't expect you to believe anything but your eyes. This videotape confirms his presence in the White House moments before the assassination.
I'll be damned.
If cloning isn't outlawed, we'll all be damned.
Who actually killed him?
That's the most delicious irony of all. He stumbled coming over the compound wall, severed his spinal cord on the rocks. The world's most nefarious assassin died of clumsiness.
How'd you confirm his identity?
His DNA includes signature sequences from the 5 men of the Ortmeyer project. It's biologically impossible for anyone but the Ortmeyer clone to have that DNA.
You're giving me all this as an exclusive. Why me?
We admire your objectivity, Rick.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. We need to get to the chaplain. 47's ashes are going to take pride of place on my mantle. Chaplain! Chaplain!
Time for the final mission, titled Requiem. Our targets? Everyone. Literally everyone here is a target. And you will, if you're playing on Expert or Pro, you'll almost definitely get shot to death. So make sure you line up enough heads as you go to barely survive. However, you will not get the slowdown saver twice in a row. If we take another shot at all, we will die immediately. You're given no healing items, just these silver ballers to kill everyone. Additionally, there is no rating system in this level per se, but if you want to get what's technically Silent Assassin, since every single person here is a target, there will be no witnesses, no bodies found, etc, etc. However, the dude's wheelchair counts as a witness, so the only way to get Silent Assassin is to lure him over by shooting near him, so he starts chasing you, and then going back in here where there's a staircase, and if you lure him over to the staircase, as he goes to go down it, the staircase will throw him off, and it will quote-unquote kill the wheelchair as well as him by accident, allowing you to get Silent Assassin. And I was very tempted to do that, but this dude's gun is so ridiculously strong, it can take you from full health to no health regardless of what difficulty it's on, so I decided not to bother risking it. Now, last but not least is just the reporter, who has all this information, obviously can't be allowed to leave. And just like that, we've ended the entirety of the franchise and every loose string that was after us in the agency in the most effective way possible. And that is also the end of the game. That's your last interactivity, so I'll see you at the credits.
Almost all of our resources are online again. No, I'm afraid he's not, Your Majesty. We seem to have completely lost track of him.
Hello, Mr.
Johnson.
Welcome, Mr. Johnson. Welcome. May I check your briefcase?
No, I'll keep it. I've heard interesting things about your establishment. I'd like to see what you have to offer. Preferably in the back.
Of course, right this way.
And that is Hitman Blood Money. I've really had a lot of fun putting this little Let's Play together. I know it's nowhere near as long as a lot of the other projects I've done, but I spent a lot of time revising the levels and going through them and just having a blast. As much as Death of the Mississippi stole a Silent Assassin from me, I've still thoroughly enjoyed doing this for you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed just this slightly little different thing that I decided to do. Like I said, the next time, well, like I said at the start, the next time I'd cover a Hitman game, I'll be going backwards, not forwards. I'm not the biggest fan of Absolution, despite it having some decent moments, and I've never got on with the reboot and its sequel, just because of some of the things that they changed for the sake of quality, quote unquote. I've just never been too keen on it. Not that I don't respect them and I think they're alright, I just think the original four just stand above them in my opinion. So the next time I try a Hitman game will be if they ever re-release Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, Hitman Contracts HD again on the current platforms, because it was re-released on PS3 and 360. So I'll happily go through them again if they released on PS4 for as clunky and as dated as the first those two Hitman games really were. But I've been wanting to do a project like this for a while, where it's a game that is short enough and the levels are convenient enough, but have enough different ways of doing it that I can be a bit more creative with it, that I can say, oh, there's not just this way, there's this way. Oh, there's not just this little method you can do, you can also try this. And as someone who's had this game under his belt and has played it since 2007, when I first got a hold of it, I know a lot of little fun routes of things to do to mess around with it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed still finding new routes to this very day. Or like watching speedruns and whatnot, and people just coming up with things I would have never have thought of, and then trying them out and going, wow, that really works. Well, I only showed a couple methods of how to deal with like some of the missions. Let's say like a new life, for instance. There's dozens of different ways of dealing with that missions, and I only showed you 2. Like, you can literally look up ways of dealing with a new life, and there's videos upon videos of everyone having so many different methods of dealing with that mission. I just showed you the 2 I know, and the 2 that I use, depending on what mood I'm in. But you can really have a lot of fun with this series, and in my opinion, specifically this game, I felt that this was the biggest prime example of quality Hitman. Yeah, the curve is a bit steep. If you're playing through it and finding the strategies yourself, you'll find the tutorial Death of a Showman and the first proper mission of Vintage Year quite manageable in getting you into it, but Curtains Down is a difficulty spike that might catch you off guard, and I have heard a lot of people say that Curtains Down should have been later in the game, which I can understand, but I for one actually still think it's a fine mission. It is just a bit of a curve, but once you've got it, you have Flatline and a new life afterwards, which are far more bearable missions. As I hit my mic by accident. But what comes next after this? Well, there isn't really anything bonus to cover with Hitman Blood Money, so unlike a few other of my projects, this doesn't need to have bonus videos that I'll forget about for many months to come. But I really do hope you have enjoyed this kind of thing. The next time I cover a project, it probably won't be for a little while, because I still need to finish up everything I'm recording for the post-game of Neptunia, which I've yet to actually start recording, which is why there isn't a part of Neptunia today and you got the end of Hitman instead. But I'll get on that, because I've only got a few things left to record, but once that's done I'll be taking a slight break, because I'm leaning towards starting a new RPG. afterwards, which will be another long-ish project. So I don't want to, you know, I don't want to burn myself out by jumping straight from Neptunia to my next project that will also be quite long. But I've said enough. If you've enjoyed this and you've watched it all the way through, I really appreciate it, and I hope I can at least convince a couple of you to give the Hitman series a try. But that's enough from me. So, until then, you guys, God bless and take care now.